Thank you for tuning in to another segment of Outside the Box. I am your host, Onney, the CEO, and today I have a segment called What Legends Are Made Of. I have a friend, a poet, an educator, an entrepreneur, a mentor. He's so many things. So I want you guys to buckle up your seatbelts because you're now plugged in, tuned in, tapped in to Outside the Box. It is so awesome to have you all back for another week. And without further ado, I want to introduce one of my dearest friends, the one who titled me Onney, Houston's poetic diva. Y'all give it up for my homie, my friend, Seven the Poet.
What's good?
What's up, babe? I finally got you on the show.
Hey, man, you know, everything in its time.
Yeah, you know, God's timing is always immaculate.
Church.
So why don't you tell us, I know what all you do, because, you know, we got like 20 years in this game, but our listeners and our viewers might not. So can you tell us a little bit more insight about what all you do?
All? Legal or illegal?
We're going to keep it legal.
Oh, we're going to keep it legal. Okay. Man, I'm an educator, business owner, entrepreneur, investor, poet, activist, artist, you name it. You know what I'm saying? I was riding here and I was thinking about getting into some of my old art forms, you know, from Sunnyside, some stuff I used to do, you know, for the arts. I ain't gonna say what it is. I'm gonna just surprise y'all with that. But man, I do a lot. It depends on what day it is.
Okay. Now, how long have you been into poetry?
Poetry. I've been writing poetry since I was 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, did you start doing live poetry before you became an educator or after?
Oh, no. I was doing live poetry. In fact, I didn't even know what an open mic was. I think my first open mic was in Prairie View. They had an open mic on the basketball court, and in University Village, and you know a couple of us. We rocked the mic. EQ was there, Equality was there, and we rocked the mic. You know, and there was this thing going on down here in Houston called Mahogany Cafe. After Mahogany, it was Muddy Waters, and when I came home, the scene was popping, you know, but it was different. When I came home, I went back to like the rapping and all of that, with the SPC and stuff like that, with botany. And that's what I was doing, but the poetry scene here was growing. I didn't even know you could be a professional poet.
Man, you put me on game. That's how I started making money.
It was an accident. Right, it was all, man, I stumbled on it. I really did.
So when did Seven the Poet emerge?
So my rap name was Rock V. You know what I mean? And things were changing. The game was changing as far as the rap game was concerned. So on Prairie View's campus, my name was Seven. Everybody called me Seven. So I said, I'm going to just keep that, and that's going to be my new rap name. And my partners was like, yo, I'm not calling you that. I'm not calling you Seven, bro. So I came home, and like I said, I was rapping. I dropped my first album. I Won a Bet. That's how I dropped my first rap album. And chick named Tasha Terry invited me out to her open mic. And I started going. She started inviting me out every week to come out, and people I never was Seven the rapper, Seven the MC. No one ever called me that. I think High C was the first person, Seven the Poet, and it just stuck after that. Seven the Poet, Seven the Poet, Seven the Poet. So I say about 99, 2000. That's when Seven the Poet
emerged.
Right.
Okay, and so when did you discover that your gift could make room for you? Basically, when you started charging.
When did I start charging? Okay, so first off, I had no idea about any of this stuff. You know what I mean? The demographic, who liked poetry, none of that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't no chicks. I ain't know poetry was
a thing like
yeah,
that. Yeah,
you know, I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? So
it's a coochie magnet, you know.
I don't use my powers for evil. Use my powers for evil. So, you know, every week your audience is gonna grow when you doing something every week. So I started getting invited to parties and, you know, gatherings and everything. Oh, Seven, you gonna do a poem for us? And so then I started noticing I wasn't really getting invited to the party because they liked me. They wanted me to perform, so I'm going to work. So, you know, I started out about like, I'll say about 2001, about a year into it. You know what I'm saying? But I wasn't charging that much. I won't even say how much.
Right.
Because it was peanuts, yo. It was peanuts.
It always starts that way. Sometimes it takes for other people to recognize your gift. And, you know, once too many people start reaching for you, you be like, wait a minute. Maybe if I go up on the price. Then you go up and they still pay. You be like, okay, well, maybe I need to go up a little bit more. You know, you give yourself a raise.
Well, you know, what I used to give myself a raise was achievements. You know what I'm saying? I never just, I'm this now. I never did that. Every time I went up on the price or something, it was because I had made a major achievement. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was one of the first poets, if not the first, to be on Radio 1 programming. You know, I went up a bit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Then, I mean, it was a B film, but I got to star and role in this movie called Deadly Birds.
I still remember that movie.
I went up a bit. You know what I mean? So every time I did something major, a major tour or anything, like definitely when I came home, when I did that play with Jacarius Johnson, when I did Cheetahs with Brian McKnight, I went up a bit. I mean, I to this day, I'm one of the only poets in Houston that can say I did Broadway as myself. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
yeah. So that's dope. So you're also an educator amongst other things. So how does that work with being Seven the Poet and being an educator? Have you ever came into some compromising situations with it, where kids know you as Seven the Poet, but you're still Mr. Howard?
You know, I gotta say I did really good with that. What I did, I kept it a secret. It was a lot of Clark Kent and Superman going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In a day, I never let the kids know that I had a nightlife. I had an alter ego or nothing. I was Mr. Howard to them. You know, especially early. It wasn't even hard to hide.
It's probably hard now because everybody knows your name, your face.
Yeah, now it's difficult. But you know, back then we really didn't have social media,
right?
So it wasn't as Googleable. You know what I mean? And I could do that. And then I started out with babies. I started out in education at my alma mater, Addicts Middle School. So, you know, those junior high kids, they don't know nothing about the club.
They don't know nothing about no shadow ball.
They don't know nothing about that. You know what I mean? So it's easy, you know, it was easy to hide it from them. But what that taught me was how to keep it separate. You know what I'm saying? And so even now that it is you know, researchable and you can find it.
Yeah.
Why it does give me a little value with the sit down desk conversation that I have to have with some kids, I still know how to really maintain the Mr. Howard versus Seven the Poet. And any of my students, they take Mr. Howard over Seven any day.
Now, Seven, you have actually, you know, right now, of course, it's no longer running. And even if it was due to COVID, we wouldn't be able to do anything anyway. But you have basically hosted one of the longest running poetry venues that I know of ever in Houston on any platform. And you have opened the door and made a way for so many poets, even poets like myself. Because when I first came on the set, you know, I had my little thing. I was Onney. But then I took a hiatus. And when I came back on the set back in 2007, you had the Shadow Bar. It was, you know, Pisano's before then, but it was popping, you know. And every Sunday, that was like my go-to. You can find me from 6 to 10 at the Shadow Bar. So what was your aha moment, you know, in transitioning to hosting and staying consistent? Because that had to be hard staying consistent with a venue. You know, it has up and down. So how was that? What was your aha moment for that?
You mean aha moment as to why I should stay consistent or how to stay consistent?
This is something I'm going to do. I'm going to keep it going. Because that was a lot of responsibility, and people don't realize what goes into keeping any establishment or any type of event going, even when you move from one venue to another venue, but you're still keeping it going. Because, I mean, you had Pisano's, you had Bamboo and Rice Village, we did Sugar Hill. Like, even when one venue couldn't hold us, you still kept the Poetry Lounge going.
Yeah, I mean, that's the Aries, you know what I mean? Hard-headed, man. You know, I knew what I was doing was dope, and I knew I had dope friends, you know what I'm saying, who had something to say, and that was the energy. And, you know, no one believed me. It was crazy. No one believed me. They'd be like, yo, what do you do? And I said, I'm a poet. Oh, can you support your family doing that? And I'd be like, very well. You know what I mean? But
right.
they did not believe it. I would see people walk into the club and be like, it's 400 people in here. It's 500
right.
people. Yeah, I told you, you know what I'm saying? Oh, my God, is that Lance Gross? Is that Lorenz Tate? Yeah.
Yes.
I told you, you know what I mean? So it was just, I wasn't going to do nothing whack. I wasn't going to let people make it whack. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't that dude. And the poetry had this image of, I am a tree. And we don't do that. You know what I'm saying? We don't even spit like that. So, you know, my friends would be in my ear, you know, and they going to keep it G between my most city partners from the Ridge and my sunny side partners from South Park and Worthing. They won't let me do nothing corny. And I was representing the hood. So I had to put all of that on my back and carry the torch.
Now, did you have a support team at that time? And if so, well, you know, I never really like to drop names because if you forget one, Lord, it's a fire. But did you have a support team at that time when you decided to transition?
No. My first night hosting, the only people in the back of the room was Trey Matthews and Darren Booker. You know, that was my best friend, my childhood best friend, and my main man, my right-hand goon from college. I was like, do not let me mess this up. Because I never hosted nothing before like that. So, you know, after every poet, I would go to the back and they would give me a little guidance. Well, transition, Tasha left and went to school and left it in my hands. And, you know, the owners, Jason and James, were like, if you don't take it over, it's done. And once again, I was told, like, hey, man, if you don't carry this torch, we done.
Right.
You know, so no, I didn't have a support team, and I did not know what I was doing. It was just me and Andrea, the door girl. So I had to figure it out.
Yeah, and look at you now.
Yeah.
And you've actually, you know, poetry have paved the way for you. You've actually had the opportunity to work with some amazing people as well. Like you've worked with Rickey Smiley, doing things with him. You've been on Versus and Flow, Steve Harvey. Can you tell us about some of those experiences, being able to work with those guys? Because now you're in their league. In my eyes, you're in their league. So it's not as easy. You're not as accessible and as tangible as you once were 15 years ago because
Nah, that's not true. I mean,
you're still down to earth.
Call the crib, same number, same hood.
Well, that's
good.
me. I'm talking everybody else.
You know, nah, man. I never will forget. You know, working with Rickey Smiley. It was like, it was crazy. I was talking to Ali and Marcus Wiley yesterday, and I was told, I went up there and performed, and I was told, you know, hey, man, you're good. Come back. So now I'm at 6 shows at the Improv. You know what I mean? And this is before any poets were doing the Improv. You know what I mean? I can boastfully say I was the first. You know what I mean? So I say, after the tryout, I say, yo, well, since y'all going to put me on 6 shows, can y'all put my name on the marquee? I was told, you're not a comic. You'll never be on the marquee. So that was an experience, you know what I mean? That's why when those guys broke into the improv, I was so excited to see that, because that was a door that was once closed to poets. When Jacarius came, he's a PV alum. I didn't know Jacarius on the yard. I was in the band, and I was with the thug set community.
Okay.
And the hustler community. So we didn't spend a lot of time on the yard like that. I didn't know Jacarius, and Candy Eastman told me, hey, come up here. I'm going to introduce you to Jacarius. And I can't even remember that play, but I went up there and I rocked. A few months went by, I got a phone call. Yo, I need you to come into town, teach Brian McKnight one of your poems. That was crazy. Brian, we break for lunch. B comes down and says, yo, if y'all want that in the play, y'all need to write him in. So I left for a weekend, and I was gone for a year. You know what I mean? That was crazy, Man, the stories go on. Jill, when I met Jill Scott and opened for her, Anthony Hamilton was super cool. And Floetry, it was just, I opened for Floetry and Badu so many times, it was just like, it was automatic. People just expected that.
Yeah.
The OJs, that was phenomenal. That was phenomenal to work with the OJs. That's legendary. Man, I got stories.
Man, well, I actually have a piece that you recently did, and it's featuring Joe P.
Okay, little bro.
That's bro too. You know what I'm saying? Right. Shout out to Joe P. And I wanted to play it for our listeners and our viewers because it's definitely relevant with everything that we have going on right here, and it also gives them a little insight to see how your spit game is. Let's check it out.
So the only way we're going to get some of this oppression and exploitation away from us or aside from us is come together against the common enemy.
Rise up, ye mighty race. We've seen the color of their hearts. If they're blinded by hate and prejudice, we'll simply have to fight in the dark. I once wished upon a star to be given lighter odds, but as it seems, the only light to deliver me was the light of God. Him Bibles say God made man in his image right, hair like wool, skin like the night. Fire in my eyes like the flames of the sun, light my divine path. Lord, be my rock, my sword, and my staff. Send one of the young men to the mountaintop. Tell King we tried it. Tell the brothers, fathers, and sons of David and Jonathan that on the horizon is Goliath. The time doth not with slingshot, we will bring hell's heat. Since we are unarmed, yet they bear arms, and my people can't breathe. Not one more empty promise to my children will slip from my lips, while teaching your children how to kill and calling the class hunting trips. Brothers, how can we demand the right to be respected when our women and our children don't feel protected? There was once a message sent to Pharaoh. He didn't listen, didn't think it was real. Yet I hope you hear this message, for it's a warning. No pleas, no necks under knees, no deal. If my people can't breathe, nobody will. Can you see me now? The meek shall inherit the earth, that's what the Bible say. So me, no more since you never saw me anyway. Curtain closed, the angel Michael shows his face, so it's evening. And the last thing they heard was me and my brothers breathing.
To be black in America is to live in a constant state of anxiety. Pressure building, pipes busting, ain't no diamonds being made here, just mass destruction of the black psyche. The black body. I know that God got me, but they out here killing us like it's a hobby. See, it's hard, America, when you won't see me for who I really am. I'm the son of a preacher, community teacher, performer of the arts. I be moving the crowd, no follow the leader, a proud father of a son that was created by God's own hand. You see, America, I am more than how you choose to see me. I am a black man. And lately, it's been real hard to breathe. suffocating myself with all these images of us dying on TV. And I'm trying real hard to let God continue to order my steps. But right now, I'm angry as can be. We are hurting out here, grown men crying, and it's like America don't see. It took y'all 3 years to realize why Kaepernick even took a knee. But it stops now. Black people, it is okay to say that you're not okay. You are not the sum of your circumstances. They better be lucky that we worship a forgiving and patient God, because that's the only reason that they've gotten so many chances. But it stops now. You will see me, America, and respect me as a man. Please don't be colorblind. Recognize my blackness and see me for who I really am. I am a father, and I want to raise my son to succeed. Tell him that he can be anything in this world and actually believe that that's true. America, take your knees off our necks. You wouldn't like it if we was doing that to you. You see, it's been more than 4 centuries of feeling like you pimping me, but today it stops. Because America, you will see us and let us breathe. You will see us and let us breathe. My God said you will see us and let us breathe. See us and let us breathe.
Ooh, that piece was heavy. I could relate to it. It moved me in a way because I have 3 black sons.
Yeah.
So seeing it just brought me somewhere else. But I wanted to play that piece because although you have worked with so many people, you've done so many things, I just want to commend you for using your platform to be a voice for the people like ourselves. You know, so many people, they're popular, people know who they are. They do a lot of things, but when it comes down to these sensitive topics, they don't use their platform to address the topics that need to be addressed. So I commend you on that.
Thank you.
I don't want to bring the mood down. I already get emotional every time I listen to that, simply because.
Yeah, you all right? Drink some water.
Yeah.
Pull it back.
You say bring it on back in.
You know.
Yeah, but it's deep. So you guys tell a friend to be sure to check that one out. It's also on YouTube. Shout out to Wheeler Avenue for that piece. That is where I got that from. Now back to you, Mr. Legendary. Now you've worked abroad, you've done plays, you've done comedy shows, you've put your own events together, you've hosted venues all around Houston, and you actually travel abroad. Now let me ask you another question. How is that when you travel outside of Houston? Are you received different than when you're in your hometown?
Yes, it is. It's crazy. It's crazy. You know, it's biblical. You know, prophet won't be respected in his own home, in his own city. Mm-hmm. When you go to other places, especially abroad, they have a deeper appreciation for the art form. For me, you know, and I was worried about the language barrier. Mm-hmm. Man, you know what I learned? Love is a universal word.
Yes, it is.
To watch people's chicks, to watch their reaction to that poem, and I'm spitting in English, and I'm in my head, I'm like, I know they don't know everything that I'm saying. You can see it though. You can see it. I mean, you can see the tears in their eyes. You couples get to hugging and leaning on each other. It's crazy.
Somebody gonna get lucky later.
Hopefully so. It's always happy. Nothing wrong with happy endings.
Yeah. So you travel a lot now to pursue poetry, correct?
Yeah. It's just experimental at this point. I'm having fun. You know, I do understand my job as a griot, being given the gift of word. You know what I'm saying? Like when Poetry Lounge kind of slowed up, and it turned into something else. You know, I looked, and everybody was doing my show, my format. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, instead of being bitter about that, man, stick your chest out about that. You gave something. Everybody knows and can see your stamp on it.
Even from the intro, the jangle your keys and the respect
you know
the
what I'm
mic
saying?
and all of that.
That's me.
Yeah.
Even at the shows that don't want me there, that's me. I'm there.
Yeah.
So, you know, I was waiting. I was really waiting, you know, to see what God had next. And I began to move around and travel, and it gave me a new inspiration. You know, since we've been going through this somewhat revolution, now, man, I've been writing every day. You know what I mean? Even that piece, like, I guess I wasn't managing my text messages in time right. You know, I got the phone call. I was like, yo, I got to write that now. I was like, yes, I wrote that in minutes. And the thing was, you know, I guess it's like anything else. When you practice it, you know, it's effortless because you know, I was already writing every day. You know, when COVID hit, I was prepared. You know.
So what do you do with writer's block? Write about writer's block?
Write about writer's block. Word to Eric Court. You know what I'm saying? My mentor, you know, so.
So if it was something you could do different, what would it be?
Nothing.
Nothing.
I don't have no regrets, man. You know, I've had some expensive lessons, you know what I mean? I'm talking about lessons that money can't buy. You know what I mean? I learned, you know, and I grew. That's priceless, you know what I mean?
Now, do you have any advice for someone else that may be looking to get into poetry and that's passionate about poetry, that's concerned that the purpose of poetry won't create a profit? Do you have any advice for that person?
I mean, I don't see how they could be concerned that it won't make a profit when it's so many of us making a profit. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I mean, my people see some of my checks and be like, they really paying that for poetry? And I be like, yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, my mentor, and I mentioned him earlier, Eric took me out on a gig with him. I saw Eric make $10,000 in one day. And at the end of the gig, he handed me an envelope, and the envelope was full of checks and money. He said, count that. And I counted it up, and it was $10,000. You know, and Eric is an educator. This is on the education side, which I still haven't gotten into the educational consulting thing. He'll pull me in, and I'll dip in and out, and they like it, you know what I mean? But at that point, I knew what I could do just with my pen, you know. And I did that. I ran that same move with some of the people that I mentored and gave the game to. Specifically, I remember I got a check. At the time, it was the largest check I had ever seen. I got like $7,500 for an hour, and I handed the check to Joe, and I was like, I can't promise you this, but I can show you how to get to this. And Joe was like, well, get to showing me, brother. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, you know, he never looked back. And Joe has done some major things, you know, even like that, like the piece we just viewed, you know, me and Joe still rocking. You know?
Yeah.
So.
You and Onney still rocking too.
Yeah.
They get surprised. They look up. Yeah. We ain't going nowhere.
You CEO and big. Y'all, I remember when you wasn't CEO, and now you Onney the CEO. It's live.
Well, you know, you told me a long time ago, I can't give you this, but I can give you a little power.
Yeah, I can show. Yeah, I can show you this. I can't give you this, but I can show you this.
Yeah. So you did that, and you kind of opened up. You did. You opened up some doors for me just by showing me love. So I try to give people their roses while they still here.
Thank you.
I'll tell the world, I love you. I appreciate you. I appreciate for who you are, not just to me, but the role model that you are to my sons and just the other black boys that's around that want to.
Wait a minute. Cue the slow music and the violins and shit.
Oh, Lord. Just to show people that you can do it. You know, it's a lot of poets, not just myself, but it's poets all around Houston that can attest to what I'm saying. And that will co-sign to what I'm saying. You know, it's people that don't even know that I know you, and your name has come up in different circles and different conversations, and just I am moved by some of the things that I hear about you now. Don't get it wrong. Everybody have their their thoughts of our arrogance because
arrogant?
they think we arrogant. Come on now. Well, we not. We humble people. We just don't like to do drama. We about
thing is
business.
This, when people say those kinds of things, and that was another learning lesson. You can't address everybody.
No, you cannot.
You know what I mean? I had to tell my family because my family didn't even know I was doing poetry for a long time. When I told my family, we from the hood for real, so they was like,
yeah,
for real, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yeah. And then when they got into it and they started coming to the club and stuff, people don't know who your family is. So they saying little slick stuff over here in this corner and that corner. And I'm like, hey man, y'all, you can't whoop everybody. It ain't even worth it. I say, look at it like this. When people say stuff and it's far-fetched, that's how those people don't even know me.
Right.
And then that's when it became a joke. That's how we began to identify the outside. It's like, joke's on you.
Right, because you don't know.
You don't know.
Yeah, you don't know. And I know you. Yeah, you've been there for me through some of my darkest hours. So I'm down with you like 4 flat tires.
Hey,
although
man.
we're not going on flat. We going all the way.
Yeah, how that belong?
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you. This time went by so fast. Of course, it was a lot of other stuff I wanted to dig into. Maybe they not ready for that yet. So
or maybe another show.
In the future, I'll bring you back where we could really take the gloves off. But right now the climate is a little sensitive, so we gonna keep it classy. But I thank you again for coming, for taking the time out and come vibe with me on Outside the Box. I want to thank our viewers and our listeners for tuning in. Seven, he got a Facebook page. He also has a YouTube page where you can go subscribe to his page. Stay up to date on what he have going on. Check him out on Instagram. He's at 7 the Poet on Instagram.
Yo, I need everybody to go to Amazon and buy that inventory up.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I need. Put 7 the Poet in, the T-shirts, the IT T-shirts, the Pull Your Pants Up T-shirts, the Old School Mama T-shirts. Go get that inventory. That's what I need everybody
yes,
to do.
yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Gonna represent that. And then also your website, 7thepoet.com.
Yeah.
They can stay up to date on different shows you have coming up, and follow, join the movement. And I also, go ahead.
If they text, if they send #7, #7 in a text message to the number 54244, then they can contact me directly.
Oh, repeat that again. That's #7.
Yeah, as the message, just text #7 to 54244, and they can talk to me directly, and they'll see all of that stuff, the Amazon links, the iTunes links, everything.
Oh, that is so dope. You got to put me on that. I need that.
Gotcha.
All right. Well, I want to remind our viewers that we'll be back the same time, same place next week, and find a platform that works for you. We're on multiple platforms. We're on Google Play, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, iTunes, YouTube, Stitcher, Spreaker, Spotify, and SoundCloud. And for the time being, you can find us on Facebook under Onney the CEO. Tell a friend to join Outside the Box, like and subscribe, and we're out. Thanks again.
Hey.